Good evening and welcome to the Bedminster Township Committee meeting for June 20th, 2022. Recognize that we have a quorum of Township Committee in attendance for tonight's meeting. Attending us in person, Committeewoman Gina Fernandez, Committeeman Tom Hickey, Committeeman Doug Stevenson, Committeewoman Renee Moreski has an excused absence. Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Burnersville News Whippany, and to all subscribers and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 6, 2022.
Great, thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so before we go on with the rest of the meeting, just I've been doing what it feels like for 2 years now, going on with COVID numbers. I just checked the county website and it reports total COVID cases for Bedminster at 1195. I'll note that's the same number we had 2 weeks ago. And since that time, I've received emails of additional cases, so I don't think that's accurate. So we'll just move on from there. 7 fatalities and no significant movement in vaccination rates. Do you want to talk about before we proceed? On June 8th, I did go to an economic development program down in Woodbridge, New Jersey, and there are just a couple quick interesting comments I just wanted to mention. I actually discussed some of these comments at the land use board, but I'll bring them here as well. So, there's been a lot of talk about the outward migration from New Jersey, and some of the different numbers, and governor's office has said no. If you look at the real numbers, there's no significant outbound migration. But at this program, it was this presentation was from Jeff Otto, who's a sort of a New Jersey famous real estate appraiser and economic development guy, and he was looking at some of the statistics that have been put out by different organizations. The number that stuck out to me was this 2/3 of the outbound migration from New Jersey have an income over $150,000. Now, what was interesting, the context that they put this into was that those people could afford to live in New Jersey as a high-cost state, but they're choosing not to. And he thought that was an important element to point out, that as we look to the economic development of New Jersey, that the folks that are moving out, 2/3 of them have significant incomes. So whether they're chasing better jobs, or their jobs are moving, or they're simply looking to save by going to a cheaper state, they're doing so. One of the other comments that New Jersey and our land uses were quickly heading to New Jersey being as a service economy by a great majority. In other words, that the jobs that sustain New Jersey for years in manufacturing and pharmaceuticals, those jobs aren't necessarily here, or they're certainly not growing. And one of the thought was that as a service-based economy, lawyers and doctors and accountants and teachers, that's not enough to sustain New Jersey going forward. And that from a land use perspective, we really do need to be a little more aggressive in supporting the sectors that help New Jersey grow and be prosperous. Recommendation was, if there's anything we can do to build a fence around pharma, we should do so to encourage them to stay and talk about pharma. So the other concern that we have to look at the pharma industry as the pressure from national government comes down on pharmaceuticals to drive drug pricing down. Well, there's a lot of expense with creating drugs and putting them on the market and a lot of research on the drugs that fail, right? So that's lost revenue. If the drug companies are going to look to save to support lower costs, they're going to look to get out of a high cost state like New Jersey. And he said that's one of the things that keeps him up at night as a New Jersey based economist is the concern that the pressures that we're putting on the pharmaceutical industry without recognizing the impact of doing business in New Jersey could put New Jersey in a bad spot in the next coming years. Then one of the last speakers was Senator Rojo, who had worked with Senator Sweeney when he was in office on the path to progress. And he was talking about some of the path to progress, this bipartisan package that really so far hasn't gone anywhere. Trenton. And one of the concerns he raised, and it was interesting because I put this right into context of what we discussed during our budget process and with our auditors. He said that a lot of the spending that New Jersey is doing down in Trenton right now with the administration is a lot of the money that came in from the revenues that were coming out of the federal government during COVID. And that some of the monies, not all the money, but some of the monies that were coming in were being put to spending programs. Not just one-time capital expenses, but spending programs. So now you support those programs with that influx of federal money in 2021 and 2022. In 2023, when those federal funds aren't here, well, New Jersey, when you have a program going, you tend not to defund it. You tend to keep it funded. And I put that into context with what we did, right? We could have put it into additional programs, but we chose to make sure that it went to capital.
Right.
So these were one-time capital expenses that would not be an albatross for the next several years in budgeting. And that was one of the questions that we actually put to the auditor. Is there anything we did with this money that's going to burden us in 2023, 2024, and in ensuing years? And the answer is no. So I just put that down. It's like, I'm going to mention that to the Township Committee, compliment everyone on the Township Committee for doing a good job there. So it's interesting. It was also good. Got to see some of the folks we know from AT&T. So that was good. And also saw one of our constituents who himself is an economic development expert, and he was also one of the participants. So it's always for good show. Now's the time we go to public comments. So we do have two folks here, but I believe you're welcome to make public comment if you like now, or you can wait for the relevant ordinance. You're going to wait for the relevant ordinance. Okay, good. But we do have someone who's participating on Zoom. And so if you wish to make a public comment and are participating on Zoom, take your cursor, scroll down to the bottom of the screen on participants, click there, click raise hand, and Ms. Ray will put you into queue. It's not much of a queue.
So that's Cindy Wish. She's the director of the Center for Contemporary Art. She'll be on during the special use permit.
Okay, so special use permit. You still could have an opportunity to make.
Absolutely. Just wanted to let you know.
But the raise hand isn't raised. Let's go on with the meeting. two sets of minutes to approve. June 6, 2022 Township Committee meeting and June 6, 2022 closed session meeting. Comments, changes? Seeing none, maybe a motion to approve those minutes. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have permits and raffles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do the first 4, and then we'll bring in Ms. Wish onto the line. So the first 4, one's an off-premise 50/50 raffle to benefit music in the Somerset Hills, Inc. on September 24, 2022, 7 p.m. at 1350 Barger Cross Road. Next is non-premise 50/50 raffle to benefit the Timothy J. Piazza Memorial Foundation, Inc. on August 9, 2022 from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club, 811 Rattlesnake Bridge Road. The third is non-premise merchandise raffle to benefit the Timothy J. Piazza Memorial Foundation, Inc. on August 9, 2022 from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club, 811 Rattlesnake Bridge Road. And the fourth is a social fair permit to benefit the United States Equestrian Team, USET, on July 1st, 2022 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the USET at 1040 Pottersville Road, Bedminster. Any comments or questions regarding those first 4? Seeing none, may we motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, I just wanted to point out to you regarding the Timothy J. Piazza Memorial at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. I don't know if you're familiar with this young man. Just wanted to make sure he was the young man that was passed away at Penn State.
Penn State.
He wanted to be a pediatric prosthetic designer, engineer, I should say. And so the money that's raised for this goes to children in need of prosthetics. So that's
Horrible situation, and it's still, when we hear about it, feel for the family. Absolutely. Okay, so the 5th item on permits and raffles is a special use permit for the Center for Contemporary Art, CCA, for the installation and display of felt banners from September 1, 2022 through December 10, 2022 at the Center for Contemporary Arts, 2020 Burnt Mills Road. Hey, Ms. Ray, you want to bring in Ms. Wish onto the line to tell us about the installation?
okay. She's ready to go.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, we're proposing, so we're having an exhibition by the Northeast Felt Makers Guild, which will be a national exhibition of fiber arts. And what we would like to do, in addition to having the exhibition in our gallery spaces, is to also install some of the work on the grounds surrounding the center. So just the grounds surrounding the building, not going into, further into Pluckerman Park or anything like that. The artists are aware that the work will be open to the weather, potentially vandalism, though I highly doubt that, knock on wood. And we just think it will bring some more visibility to the exhibition and improve tourism and just be fun.
So, I guess a couple of questions. Looks like Doug was about to jump on.
No.
The size and quantity and how these displays are actually going to be installed?
Sure. So the size is going to vary. Most of them are, about 18 by 24. I would guess about 20 of them, and they would be hung using non-permanent, non-invasive hanging devices. So we wouldn't be drilling into buildings or trees or anything like that. They would be affixed to tree branches.
And do you have any visuals of what they're going to look like? Right there. Thank you. Thank you.
There's a copy of the photo.
Can we put this, well, can we get it actually on the, we have the version put up there?
Can you see them, or would you like me to share my screen with some, or how?
You can share your screen this way. It's captured on the
Okay,
Zoom recording.
great. Just give me one moment.
So Ms. Wish, this is 18 by 24?
Oh, I think I underestimated the length of some of them. Yeah, they're definitely looking more like about 3 feet.
John, have you had a chance to look at the lease?
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you want to permit them, you certainly
Okay.
can. I've looked at the lease going back a number of years, so it's within your discretion under the special use permit ordinance. It's the time and duration and any other conditions you wish to impose, or even as to whether you wish to allow them.
The time period, that September to December, there's a lot of bad weather that comes through New Jersey, September to December. And I'm just thinking with rain and winds.
Is your concern that they'll start to, so I share some of your concerns. In speaking with the artists about that, they assure me that these things are weatherproof. But we could certainly, we'd be living with them. They'd be on our building. So if anything started to look disgruntled or, less professional, we would remove them for sure.
My only thought is on the matter, I mean, I'm not.
I'm sure that it's not your only thought.
Does press need to sound in at all or not? I mean, it's not anything that's permanent, so I don't know. It's an historic district.
Is it? Do you know?
So
Robin, do you know?
I mean, I know that the other adjoining properties are,
Oh, they are.
but this is a display, so I don't know whether it falls within the jurisdiction or not. That's my thought.
Okay, so one thought for sending it over to HPC for review and comment.
No comments right now.
No comments. Okay.
I just had a few questions. Approximately how many will be hanging at any given time? Or you're going to be hanging all the artwork for the 3 months, or sporadically going to be changing them? I didn't want it to look overcrowded, or while you want to draw attention, you don't want to draw negative attention. So I just want to make sure that it's attractive and not clutter.
Absolutely. I agree with you. The show is going to be juried by a professional artist who's going to choose the pieces that go in it. So these are samplings. These are not necessarily the actual banners that will be going in the show. And there will be about 20 of them. So, and it's an extension of the exhibition that we will have inside the building.
Yeah, I understood that. Thank you.
Sure.
So 20,
It seems like a lot. I would almost ask to see like how, if there was a sketch of how it's going to look. I don't want people to, it's great, draw attention to a great exhibit, right? You don't want it to look cluttered or just too much, right? So, I don't know if you could provide like a sketch of how it's tentatively going to look. I'm just concerned for our residents, right?
Yeah,
You don't
well-
want people driving by.
Or maybe on a rotational basis, right?
Yeah, or
20 of them,
rotational.
if they get
20
rotated
seems
out.
like a lot, but I don't know if they're 3 feet, and I don't know how big the building is or how it's going to look.
and look, I'm sure we all do. We get the comments about signs and the feather flags, and we get complaints about that, especially in Pluckman. And this is, a little bit bigger. So 20 of these, I'm sure is going to get a reaction from residents. And it's hard to gauge from, and they're all seem to be about uniform size. So I'm assuming that the size that's reflected here is probably the size of the installations when they're complete. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, roughly. As I said, the actual pieces for the exhibition haven't been chosen yet. Would it be helpful to do a digital rendering of the building so that you have more of a visual of how it will interact with the space? And would that be, can I get that to you for your next meeting? Or
That would be
That would be
fantastic.
great.
Thank
To See
you.
what it looks like
Mhm.
with, if you have 20 that you can throw up there for just a picture.
yeah, absolutely. I can see how that would be really helpful. So why don't we table this for now, and I'll get you a rendering of them installed, how they might potentially look.
That'd be great.
And what's good, are these going to be, you said from the trees, are you also going to put in stakes or anything else? Because, 20 of the trees in front, that really sounds
I mean,
tight.
I agree with you, Larry. And also hanging things from trees, you're gonna get like a lot of pushback from people who are tree loving people. So, they're gonna be like, damaging trees or whatever.
And if they're
so-
felt, they're going to get super heavy.
Yeah, so I would just, if you could just give us a sketch of kind of what it's gonna look like, so we just make sure it's aesthetically pleasing. I'm sure it's gonna be a great exhibit, and we definitely want to help you draw attention to the exhibit. We just want to make sure it's aesthetically pleasing, and then we're not gonna get any feedback from our residents regarding like the tree situation or historic pres or anything like that. So that would be fantastic if we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's helpful for us too. So I would love to do that for you, and I will get that to you as soon as I can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll table this and we'll get some additional information. And Doug, I think you've already confirmed that it is in historic pres. If you think they want to see it.
Yeah, I'll ask
Okay. When's the next meeting?
next month.
Okay.
We just had it this last week.
All right. Okay, Ms. Wish, thank you for showing up tonight. Anything else?
No, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll table the special use permit pending the additional information. All right, let's proceed to monthly report discussions. Start with Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. We had historic pres last week. It was also the day of my middle guy's birthday, so I asked Renee to cover it for me. She did. The feedback is that there was nothing earth-shattering that happened, but I'll let her report on the meeting itself. But one other thing did come out of historic pres that I would like to raise with you guys, and that is from time to time, we have applicants come in for colors of signs. And we're running into a problem with folks wanting to use non-historic colors. And the suggestion from historic preservation is if we could adopt an ordinance where we basically approve and dictate that the colors to be used within the historic pres should come from, don't have to use the Benjamin Moore paint, but it should come from the Benjamin Moore Historic Collection. That they match the color to that, then that would be an approved color. That way we can treat everybody equally. We've sort of been ad hoc referring folks back to that palette and telling them pick a color from there and come and prove to us that it's matched and okay. But they've asked for us to sort of help them out so they can treat folks uniformly, consistently, and sort of takes the onus off of them to say, no, I understand that I'm making this up, Newco has a corporate logo and it's always that color. Well, that color is not a historic color, so you got to work something out. And that's come up fairly recently. You got a couple national chains not wanting to change the colors, and the color's not working for the district. So if we could work on that, I'd be happy to work with John, put that together. But if, with your permission, I'd like to at least propose something or put it out there.
John, thoughts?
Work with me, put it together.
Okay,
great.
I'm not a Benjamin Moore expert, but if you could point me to the historic palette
Yeah,
collection or
I'll give you the
similar
verbiage.
collections.
yeah, okay. So that would be, and then just, and following up on the point that we just made with the applicant for the permit. Historic Press was wondering when we might, as a body, be willing to start enforcing the feather signs.
So I recall that in October, November of last year, that we re-upped those special use permits through the end of 2022.
For outdoor dining? Or are we
I
talking
thought
for
we did
the
all
feather
four.
signs as well,
I
everything?
thought we did it all.
I think we do.
Is that right?
We did, we just never formalized, I went back to look at the meeting minutes and the video that was done, but we just never sent one with special terms out to the original app.
All right, so we'll think about that for
Since we did it,
23.
Since we extended it, it was anticipation and, you know, we're harking back to November of 2021, right? We were prepping to actually do the reorg person and that fell apart. Trust this, county numbers haven't changed. Hopefully we're beyond that. But I do agree with the sentiment from HPC that, and I'll say, you know, especially in Pluckman, go through Pluckman, it's the feather signs that we've gone from allowing one per property to more than one. And some of those feather signs, it just we talked about with Ms. Wish from Center for Contemporary Art. It's looking awful crowded.
Yeah.
And it's not just the feather signs, but it's
Lawn
the
signs.
lawn signs for commercial use. You see them everywhere. You know, the area right by Pluckman Presbyterian Church is just cluttered with that. It's sort of working against the historic value that we associate with Pluckman. So certainly understand it's an issue. We really, you know, we've been tolerant, certainly been tolerant during the COVID. It's COVID time, but you know, we've got to start
Getting back to what we're,
how
we're all
we
about.
view our historic district.
Would we provide notice 60 days before the expiration of those permits? Just let folks know, hey, it's time.
Yep.
I agree. Communication is the key to that. That's really all the updates I've got. Rodney's here to answer any DPW, but I understand everything's going along smoothly on that front. So we just continue to do our thing and cut the grasses and trim back the brush and fix the roads.
So while we have Ron here, we're on DPW. Anything going on from DPW? Any new projects? The schedule for paving?
No schedule for paving yet, but it's in the works. And paperwork's been submitted to them, so
For this calendar year?
yeah,
Okay.
for the stuff we approved, yes. So that will get done.
Is there anything you're waiting on from the engineering office?
Not for our paving, no.
Okay.
That's all I've got, man.
Okay. Thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Just a quick update on the Board of Health. We met last Thursday, during which the public hearing for the ordinance updating certain sewage disposal fees was held and approved. The board also reiterated their support for the stigma-free initiative and the terrific work championed by Committeewoman Fernandez. I think it's fair to say that the board chairman and the entire board were blown away by the resource guide that Gina, you helped compile, and they wanted to express their sincerest gratitude. I think Chairman Fish was thumbing through it saying, I cannot believe all these resources, and now they're all in one place, you know, and he was surprised by even the existence of some of them. So that was, you know, well done. We also discussed a request from the library for some feedback on accepting Narcan kits from the State Department of Human Services. The board was generally supportive of this action, but they also asked that Dr. Agathis be contacted for her input as she was not present at the meeting. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two quick updates. So our Camp Bedminster will be starting next week. So Friday, our full staff that was hired will be setting up at Bedminster School for another fun summer full of trips and activities. And if things are finally somewhat mostly back to normal, quote unquote normal after COVID. So that's an exciting exciting thing. And just the stigma-free initiative, we're moving forward with that. And we are setting up a little tent table at the farmer's market. Someone from the Board of Health hopefully will be there. If not, I will be there personally, but we're looking for our boards to really get involved. So we reached out to the Board of Health to see if someone can sit at the table and hand out information, the resource guide in July, I want to say 16th. Yeah, 16th. And then August 6th, the Communities in Crisis will be sitting at the farmers market, and I reached out to a few more agencies, local agencies that are in the resource guide to see if they can come out and try to get one a month to be present and just kind of raise awareness, promote the initiative, and just have a spot where people can go and just know that Bedminster stigma free. We're proud to be that way. And that's all.
Great. Thank you.
That's a great job.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to hit on a couple things. Land use. So just as we did at the last Township Committee meeting, we had a land use board meeting and we talked about two items. So pursuing plan endorsement. So once again, the steps that we need to do from both the land use board and from the Township Committee to advance the discussions with DCA and to the extent necessary DEP and the State Planning Commission to get the Bedminster Master Plan recognized as an endorsed plan by the State Planning Commission. It was a good meeting. Walter Lane, the Somerset County Planning Director, was there and also gave advice and certainly willing to lend support from the county in Bedminster pursuing that initiative. And so that was very positive. And then the next element, also as we did from the Township Committee, we discussed it here, and so we're going to go back to land use board, is to take the planning study that was prepared for the AT&T campus, along with some recommendations for some future zoning, and to come up with a new zoning ordinance for the AT&T campus. And it was interesting, real interesting conversation, and it's going to continue for several meetings. One of the board members, and this was not just one of the board members, because it was supported by others, was essentially looking at the traffic issues. Sort of working back from potential uses and the impact those uses or expansion of FAR or lot coverage would have on surrounding neighborhoods in Bedminster. Great thing about, once again, the AT&T campus is its direct access from 202, 206, nearly direct access to 287, to and from 287. So there's a lot of opportunity to re-examine the uses, the existing permitted uses, the existing approved uses at the AT&T campus, and rework some zoning. It's going to make that property attractive for new uses and new users, if there is going to be new users, to come into the property. If it's going to be AT&T, that'd be great, but to plan ahead. And so very vibrant conversation held by the land use board, and it'll be continued at our next meeting on the first Thursday in July. So we will continue to report on that. Farmers market, another Saturday, over 1,000 people. So, I mean, last year, the busy, calling it busy day was a little over 800.
Exactly.
And so we're getting more. And it's just really remarkable. And, once again, we want to thank all the volunteers who come out and help at the Township tent, help with parking, help Rob and Ray get a nice spot. So it worked, right?
Worked great.
And so once again, just want to thank everyone for their participation in seeing So successful. Ms. Ray, please have the administrator's report.
Let me be very brief. Just a reminder that tomorrow night, Tuesday, the 21st, is the NAACP is hosting their annual Juneteenth celebration on Hillside Avenue at 6:30 p.m. And that concludes my report.
That's it?
We have a lot to cover.
Okay, so real quick question for you. Last month, I was reached by the Somerset County LGBTQ coalition committee. And they talked about providing us with a pride flag for June to display somewhere in.
Yes, we received that.
Oh, we
flag.
did?
We did receive the flag, and the
Okay.
flag was posted in the main entrance to the building.
Okay. You're coming from, when you come in, as we do, coming back door, I haven't seen it. Okay,
Correct.
all right. Because they didn't have it at the last meeting, so they did get it to us.
They
Okay,
did.
thank you. Okay, with that, we've got some ordinances to consider. So not only do we have ordinances up for public hearing, we have two more up for introduction. So the two that are going to be introduced, ordinance number 2022-009, this ordinance corrects and amends chapter 2 entitled Administration, moving the position of purchasing agent within the duties of the administrator due to the creation of a separate position within the finance department. And then ordinance number 2022, ordinance amends chapter 2 entitled Administration and establishes the position of purchasing agent per NJSA 40A11-9. Let's see, so if these ordinances are introduced, there's 9. There is 10. When will the public hearings be if they are introduced today?
At the July 5th meeting.
July 5th. So before we introduce them, are we going to have a quorum for July 5th?
Charlie,
I'll be here.
You'll be here? You'll be here.
No, July 5th, I won't be.
I'm on vacation, but I can send somebody.
Okay.
I'll be in Greece. I can't even like,
You'll be in Greece.
yeah, I can't even call in, obviously.
No, you don't know. You're in Greece. You
Right.
you don't need to-
Sorry.
you don't need to zoom it. So a quorum is 3. So.
Yep.
I don't.
Me neither.
So, okay, so we'll be good for that. Okay, so let's start with ordinance number 2022-009. We have a motion to introduce that ordinance in the public hearing. If approved, will be July 5th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
A little legal reminder, I don't think it will impact your July 5th hearing, but under a township committee form of government, you can introduce an ordinance with 2 of 3 members present. So if 3 of you there, 2 like it, 1 doesn't, it still gets introduced. But you need 3.
3 to be
Yes.
present, 2 can kill it or 2 can approve it.
No. On introduction, 3 is a quorum, need 2 just to introduce. But if you have a meeting and 3 are present, to pass an ordinance, you need all 3 to vote on.
Okay,
introduce versus pass.
Yes, introduce is only 2 of 3, pass is always 3 of 3.
okay.
Not that I anticipate that you're going to have an issue with this because it's rather non-controversial, but I just throw that out there because occasionally I actually like to say something legal.
All right, that was good. All right. Approve his bill. I guess that's up to me or you.
Yeah.
So, all right.
John's earned his pay today.
Do we have any ordinances that will be introduced next week?
Not that I know of at this time.
Oh, too bad, because then we could have a contentious one. with 2.
We need a contentious one.
I think we're done for a while.
I
I
think there's enough on here.
Yeah.
Hold us
So the
over.
second ordinance to introduce tonight is 2022-010. And if that is introduced, the public hearing will also be July 5th. We have a motion to introduce ordinance 2022-010.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, public hearing will be July 5th. Okay, speaking of public hearings, we have 5 of them tonight. First public hearing is ordinance number 2022-004. This ordinance authorizes appropriating $37,000 for various equipment for the Bedminster Township Police Department. We have a motion to open up the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, chief, what's the $37,000?
Mayor, with the $37,000, hopeful to get funded after a vote. It's going to be for bulletproof vest. It's going to continue our replacement of mobile data terminals. It will purchase 1 portable radar speed sign so we can move to different strategic locations within the town. And lastly, the biggest part of that money is for new equipment because we're still in the rollover phase of the old body style of the patrol cars we have. So everything on the inside needs to be purchased brand new.
Okay, any questions or comments from Township Committee?
None?
No? Okay, we'll open up to the public. Any questions or comments regarding ordinance number 2022-004 appropriating $37,000 for the police department?
No one online. No comments on the.
Okay, seeing none, may we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-004.
Move that.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, 1 down. Next ordinance, 2022-005. This ordinance authorizes appropriating $18,000 for various firefighting equipment for the Pottersville Volunteer Fire Company. May we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Someone want to come up?
Sure.
State your name and address, please, or in your case, your position with the fire company.
Okay, I'm Tony Taranelli from Pottersville, 303 Lindaberry Lane in Pottersville, and I'm president of the fire company.
All right, President Taranelli, what have,
Thank you.
you want to just walk us through the
Sure,
expenditures?
there's not much to say about this, other than it's going to be used for purchase of new air bottles. Our air bottles are expiring and we won't be able to get them recertified, so we're going to be replacing all of our air bottles, and they're not inexpensive, so,
Mhm.
As you've informed us,
yeah,
yeah,
I don't think there's anything in firefighting that's inexpensive.
well,
So-
safety is a priority. So,
And I want to thank the committee for even considering us, so thank you very much.
okay, thank you, President Taranelli.
For Administrator Ray for helping us get,
And thank you, Administrator Ray.
thank you.
Okay, any further questions or comments regarding the ordinance or for President Taranelli?
No.
Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll take a motion to approve ordinance 2022-005.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. Next,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your
thanks,
service.
PBSC,
Thank
for all
you
your
for coming.
service.
Thank you for everything.
We're glad to be here.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And while we have you, so no antique show,
No antique show.
but there's going to be
We're going to try to do something, but we're not sure what it is yet.
Try to do dinner.
Some kind of a dinner or two.
Okay.
At least create the ambiance, the old antique shop.
Dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, outdoor
Yeah.
movies
Oh,
would be
that's
nice.
good.
Get a little screen.
Dinner and a movie. Drive-in theater. Thank
Hey,
you.
Hey, no, that's a really good idea.
Thank you. Thank you. Occasionally I have one.
I like it. Thank you.
Take care,
Have a
guys.
Good night.
You well, stay
Thanks for your
safe.
service.
Thank you, guys. Next, ordinance 2022-006, ordinance authorizes appropriating $32,000 for various firefighting equipment for the Far Hills Bedminster Fire Department. We have a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Robin, just want to walk us through those expenditures?
Sure. So the $32,000 is going to be going towards the purchase of replacement air bottles and the air packs for the fire department, similar to Parcel Volunteer Fire.
Okay, any questions or comments?
Are they doing a bulk order or they're separate?
They both, what remember, we had this discussion, different types. of
Different types, right?
equipment,
Okay, that's right. Okay.
But the bottles we have now found out are interchangeable between both different types of air packs that each one uses.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what we decided. Great, thank you.
Okay, if there's no further questions or comments, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-006.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Number 4, ordinance number 2022-007. This ordinance authorizes appropriating $25,000 for various capital facility improvements in Bedminster Township. Rodney, what are we doing with 25,000?
This ideally is in place for a program actually that predates me, but mainly to address some of the HVAC issues within town hall here and to start replacing some of the aging
Do we
infrastructure
have to
that's
open
here
the session there?
in the building.
We have to open the public before.
Oh, geez, you're right.
Sorry.
Did we do that?
No.
No, not for this
No.
one. We just did it 4 other times.
We got a lot
To
of.
open the public hearing on ordinance 22.
Not for this one.
Not for this one.
It's
Okay, may we have a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2022-007?
so second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you were saying.
You have to start over, Rodney.
It's in place to address some of the aging infrastructure within town hall here mostly. It's the HVAC system that's here. Part of a program that we put in place that predates me and want to continue on that path, and some of this equipment's getting fairly old in the building, so it's
So the HVAC and Robin, anything else in that?
Part of the roof as well.
Okay,
There's some repairs that we need to make to the roof that's leaking.
all right. Any further questions or comments?
No, just at the agenda, let me note for the record, it's 25,000, not 25,000.
Yeah.
It's the ordinance has it as 25,000, but it's a typo in the agenda itself.
No, I think it's money that we need to spend.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
with that, take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-007.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
And the last public hearing for the night, ordinance number 2022-008. This ordinance authorizes the purchase of motor vehicles and equipment for the Public Works Department as part of the regular vehicle replacement program at a total amount not to exceed $118,000. May we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Rodney, again.
again, scheduled replacement of a 2005, small mason dump.
And I know we've got a total not to exceed 118. What do you expect has this already been, have we already ordered this or is this?
We haven't ordered it. As of right now, we can't even get prices from the manufacturers, but forget ordering something when you can't even get a price right now. We haven't even heard when these bids are going to go out, when the county co-ops and the manufacturer are all going to agree on something and start manufacturing these particular cab and chassis units that most all municipalities use. And every town's in the same boat. It doesn't matter who you talk to, where you talk to them.
And this is running through the county co-op program?
It would be either through the county co-op or Sourcewell or the ESCNJ, any number of co-ops or, the state contract. And there's just absolutely nothing available. And there, like I said, there's not even a structure in place right now. All the bids have been rescinded. You can't even get prices
The bids have been rescinded?
because they can't deliver.
So what's your level of confidence that 118 is going to cover us?
I'm confident. It's what I have seen out there, and we received one that we ordered back a year ago, and it was right there. I mean, we should be fine with that number. I'm comfortable with that for sure.
Okay.
And is our 2005 going to make it in time or?
It should. We'll keep it together.
It'll keep
Chugga.
busy.
Mhm.
That's right.
We have a talented staff in place to keep that going.
You got the baling wire and the chewing gum ready to go.
Yeah, the $25 was for the duct tape.
And so what would be the, any projection on delivery?
I don't. I would love to have something, but like I said, forget delivery. We can't even nail down a price. We can't spec it.
So we're
can't
looking at
order it.
a 23 delivery or even?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Okay.
I expect,
Hopefully a 2023 delivery. Supply chain crisis.
right.
I don't know.
Ford, which is the, common brand out there that's winning most of these awards, they're just not building them right now.
Tesla.
If you want to ride in Tesla, Colin can arrange that. Okay, any further questions or comments?
None.
No, just keep your eye on it, Rodney. I know you will, but
Okay, let's open up to the public. Any members of the public have any questions regarding ordinance 2022-008?
No questions from the public there.
All right, seeing none, take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-008.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, I missed
that
that.
was Gina moved. I seconded it.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we got through our public hearings. Consent agenda, we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items on the consent agenda. These are matters of routine nature, unless a member of the Township Committee wants to pull one out for special consideration and discussion. Seeing none, may we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
All right.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a number of resolutions for individual consideration. First is Resolution 2022-064, which authorizes renewal of Fiddler's Elbow Country Club liquor license for the period of July 1, 2022 until June 30th, 2023. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution number 2022-064.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2022-065 authorizes the renewal of Delicious Heights Enterprises Corp. liquor license for the period of July 1, 2022 until June 30, 2023. For the motion, sorry, any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll take a motion to approve resolution 2022-065. Moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is resolution 2022-066, authorizes the renewal of Grateful Spirits, Inc. liquor license for the period of July 1, 2022 until June 30, 2023. So Grateful Spirits is that Colonial Liquors?
Colonial Liquors,
That's
correct.
Colonial Liquors. Okay, so any questions or comments?
No.
Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve resolution 2022-066.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution 2022-067 authorizes the renewal of Cold Spring Liquor Corp. liquor license for the period of July 1, 2022 until June 30, 2023. And that is that a Pluckman?
Pluckman.
Pluckman. So the wine store at the Pluckman. Any questions or comments? We'll take a motion to approve 2022-07. I'm sorry, 067.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is resolution 2022-072. This resolution appoints Sarah Houseman as the Bedminster Qualified Purchasing Agent. So Sarah was appointed to the position on a temporary basis in 2019 when she started taking the requisite classes to become a certified qualified purchasing agent. And she passed her tests. And this would appoint her as the Bedminster QPA. So congratulations to Sarah on passing her test and for her service to Bedminster throughout that entire time. Any questions or comments regarding the resolution?
Just a quick one. Does anything rely on 2022-009 from an administrative standpoint? Since we're moving the position.
So she's right now our temporary. We have a purchasing agent that was identified. I guess we should back up a little bit. In researching this, we realized that we have never formally identified, I have to defer to John on this, that we never formally identified the QPA as an actual position that Mr. Township, when the position was created in 2007 with Sean McCarthy. So that's why we saw that, and we went back to correct it by taking it away from the administrator's position and moving it as its own, establishing it as its own position. So I'm not sure if there's anything that relies on this.
Well, technically, until you adopt the ordinance creating the position on July 5th, it doesn't exist. So you can't technically.
But you know, it's interesting because it does show up in our salary resolution, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not in our it's not under administration in our ordinances as a position within the municipality and the finance.
I mean, if you wait 2 weeks, you're probably better off adopting the ordinance and then having a resolution follow that. Unless there's an emergent need to do this.
Well, the only
tonight.
thing is, we did learn that Sarah cannot operate as an acting if she's certified. Like I cannot be a acting clerk if I'm a certified clerk. So.
Go ahead and do it tonight then.
2 times in this meeting,
On the
our
side,
attorney has weighed in on a
ancient,
legal matter.
It's an ancient legal doctrine called on the side of angels.
I've heard that before. Township Committee, you satisfied with proceeding with resolution 2022-072
John has blessed it.
based upon the consult between Ms. Ray and Mr. Velardo?
Yes, sir.
Aye.
That's a yes, and that's a yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take a motion to approve resolution 2022-072.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution 2022-074. Resolution approves and grants a public towing license to Tom DeLuca's Towing, Inc., Somerset Hills Towing, and Mike's Towing and Recovery, Inc. Chief, we've had good success with all three towing companies.
We have, I mean, every once in a while, somebody will just bring up a slight issue. We have a complaint system in place, and it really always turns out to be more of a misunderstanding. So we haven't had any issues, that would negate any of these who have been on our towing rotation going back at least 8 to 9 years at this point.
Take it the misunderstanding is like, why did you tow my car? And you said you parked in a non-parking area, and they said, no, I didn't.
So, and these towings are usually for a car that's, it could be for that, but it could also be for breaking down on one of the municipal streets.
Sure.
And they gotta be moved. Right?
This is the police duty tow list that's on a rotational basis, and if we need a car moved for a reason and can't wait for your private service to come, well, we call our wrecker and that's what it is.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution 2022-074.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez. And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. Aye.
Aye,
That was quick.
There you go. And resolution 2022-075 allocates funding from the township's American Rescue Plan grants for the engineering design of the Clucas Brook Neighborhood Road Improvement Project. Anyone want to chime in on this one?
I can.
Okay.
Sure. So as you recall, last year, Bedminster Township received a Department of Transportation Local Aid grant towards the Clucas Brook Neighborhood Road Improvement Project at the tune of $375,500. What we are now doing is moving into the next phase, the design phase, and the 82,000 is what is expected to be the design portion of the engineer's fees. So that's what we are the money's already been appropriated. We are just identifying that it's coming from the American Rescue Plan money.
Okay, and we had numerous discussions during the budget session about using the funds for this project. I just want to put it out there on the record for those who will be watching this and did not have the fortitude to sit through our budget sessions. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution 2022-075.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Doug.
Second.
You don't say.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Hickey,
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez,
Aye.
and Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
So what I wanted to mention after we went through the ordinances is that all the ordinances that we discussed, all the money that's been appropriated, went through series of discussions during budget session. So while we had questions and presentations, even from the folks from Pottersville Volunteer Fire Company coming out, all those appropriations were discussed in detail throughout the budget process. So I just want to let folks out there know that this wasn't the first time that we're seeing these appropriations or seeing these numbers. It all been discussed, approved as part of our budget, and all those appropriations are built into the 2022 budget. May we have motion to approve the bill list and review of individual invoices?
So moved.
Second?
Last roll call vote, Mr. Stevenson,
Aye.
Mr. Hickey,
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
New business, any matters that the Township Committee wants to put on for discussion for new business?
No, just what I had raised earlier about the Benjamin Moore issue.
Okay, so Doug, you'll coordinate with
Yes.
John on putting something together.
Yes.
Great. Okay, which brings us to old business. We covered COVID numbers. We actually, and within COVID, we also talked about the flag and the sign permits that we've issued. DOT road improvements. Chief, I take it nothing new from DOT on either completing the River Road jug handle signage or when they intend on commencing with similar improvements over at Hills Drive.
Well, Mayor, I'm glad you received it. I was able to get in touch with our resident engineer that I met with regarding River Road improvements. I don't think there's anything that's gonna happen on those, median signs. I
Okay.
think, if they've done all they could, unless, they develop the breakaway sign posts and just isn't enough real estate on the median to put a bigger sign without mirror slapping and everything.
Mm.
So the other news is the Hills Drive improvements. He finished it last week. It's been sent for installation. I tried to get a better idea of what that means with the timetable or what are we looking at? What's the improvement? Because we spoke about pictograph signs, painting through arrows southbound. I don't think they're going as crazy as putting in, the directional green signal, but he said it's the installation. He said he'll check and see, about a time frame, and it never got back to me. So.
But that's progress.
Hmm.
Because if we get the painted directional signs on the road, that's improved. If people see
Hmm.
it. But that itself will show progress from DOT. So that's the fact that it's gone from I take from engineering to installation. There may be nothing as Byzantine as the way DOT is set up with its programs. But to actually go from design and engineering now to installation, it may be months before it's done, before it's undertaken, but that is a big step. So,
Progress.
yeah, so thank you for that report. Utilities. Let's see, Commander Hickey, do you want any updates on?
Just a couple quick updates. I'll tease our one-on-one meetings with the homeowners associations in the Hills are continuing, but I have no real updates since our last meeting. JCP&L, Administrator Ray and I both individually participated in customer improvement surveys with JCP&L reps. The good news is it was not the typical kind of survey where you rate things from 1 to 10, which are kind of the throwaway surveys. It was actually a discussion. It was a good opportunity to provide some very direct and very candid feedback. I felt it was a productive discussion, at least when I was on. I may have made some suggestions and recommendations on how they could continue to up their game and build on the improvements they've made over the last few years. So I think it was all in all a good conversation. Also on Planet Networks, which is the Western Bedminster Fiber Project, I don't really have an update, but I have asked Planet Networks if they can shed some light on the new federal funding that may be available to rural areas to fiber those areas as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. So if I learn more from that, I'll report on it next time.
Okay, and do we have any update on the survey itself?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it was more they were going to data collect and then give it back to us at some point in the future.
Okay, I was just wondering what sort of response they're getting on that survey at all.
Yeah. Robin, do you have any sense on that, on the JCP&L survey?
No.
No. Okay.
I was fine with saying
Okay.
Well, if Pottersville does a dinner, might be a good opportunity to get that news out down there.
Yeah, right,
So,
right.
Since
Good
that is
point.
the hub of that section of Bedminster.
We'll have a commercial right before the movie starts.
Exactly. Doug and Gina.
I have no updates for you, Mayor.
Went out with Paul to the site in Buckman.
No,
Utilities?
No, we're still on utilities.
Oh, okay, I've got no update.
Did, you got that email I sent you with the,
I did.
email
Yes.
for, the
Mark.
PC
Yep.
contact?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Pluckman Park, is any of this on for exec?
Yes,
Okay, so is there
Yeah.
anything to discuss in,
that's what I was just gonna say.
In
I
public?
went out there with Paul, but it's on for.
okay. We do have a brief executive session. What do we say now?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll go through township committee comments now. We'll take a motion to adjourn to executive session. We'll go to executive session. We'll come back for the final adjournment. Let's go through township committee comments. Start with Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Tis the season. Over the weekend, I went to a bunch of graduation parties, so I just wanted to reach out to families in town to have graduates from 2022, wish them congratulations. It's neat to see a lot of, I don't have kids in this particular year. Last year and I have next year, so this is the sandwich year. But I still know a lot of the kids from sports and coaching. It's really neat to see them grow up and see where they're all going. And again, Bernard's High School just cranking out impressive list of, places where folks go. And great job all around by the school, great job by the kids, and just wish them all the best as they go out and flap their wings, as they say. But that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
I have no further comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Woman Fernandez.
Just kind of piggyback on what Doug was saying. Congratulations to all the graduates. Tonight, I was actually walking my dog before the meeting and I saw people taking pictures because today is actually Bedminster School's 8th grade graduation. So, that's a staple here in Bedminster. Everybody goes through our K through 8 school, and it's it's the end of an era for a lot of families, and then they go off to high school at Berners or other high schools, but it's just congratulations to all the 8th grade graduates.
That's great. Thank you. Those are great comments. Thank you both. No further comments. Take a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Robin, if you can pause the recording and we will. It is 9:18. Township Committee has returned to open public session. Nothing else left on our agenda for tonight. Take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night and thank you all.
Thank you.